already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, you are. You're listening to the Beat 105.5, the Real Deal Sports Show, coming through your speakers every Saturday morning, right here. This week we're coming to you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. It's been a beautiful week down here, over 78 degrees, 80 degrees the last 2 days. T-shirt, short sleeve shirt weather broke out. I'm glad I brought a couple of short sleeve shirts because they sure went in plenty of use the last 2 days after doing the show live Monday through Friday on Radio Row in the Ernest K. Morrow Convention Center here in downtown New Orleans, Louisiana. It's been a great week, and we're going to give you a recap of what's been going on before the big game tomorrow. Everything is on the line tomorrow. Welcome to the show, Internet Passport. Glad you're able to be down here with me earlier in the week, down here in New Orleans. Glad you were with us.
Ooh, it's been an epic week leading up to this year's Super Bowl down in New Orleans. It's been a great time down there with you, Radman, and also with our On Stage Plus production crew as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Real Deal Sports Show with George Radney on YouTube and Facebook. We stream live every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. there. And one thing I have to say, it's been an epic week of news there, Rad, man. One thing I wanted to get your opinion on, the NFL honors, specifically the MVP, the most valuable player, ended up being our own Buffalo Bills quarterback, Josh Allen, man. And I just want to know your initial thoughts there when it comes to that MVP. What's your reaction to that there, Rad, man?
Well, just the first thing that caught my attention was the voting. This was the first time. This is the year 2025, and I spoke to Jared Bell. And Jared Bell, matter of fact, Jared Bell was on the show with us yesterday live from the convention center on Radio Row. And I asked him, I said, isn't this the first year that they asked you to have the, to everybody had their votes announced or who they voted for? They published that to the general public, who every sports writer voted for this MVP voting, which told me that, hey, you maybe thought some controversy might be involved here, because why would this be the first year that you allow everybody? And Jared Bell's answer was, yes, we had to consent to that before we voted. They said, would that be all right if we publish your vote so that everybody can see who voted for who and who came out as MVP? So that kind of tells me that they thought something might be going on with this year's voting. And what we saw was a scrub quarterback by the name of Jim Miller, a bum, a scrub, 36 TDs, 31 interceptions in his playing career. He played for the Chicago Bears under Dick Duran. Dick Duran also was a Buffalo Bills head coach in 2008 through 2009 before he got run out of town. But he played for Dick Duran, head coach of the Bears. Jim Miller was this mediocre scrub quarterback that should have been a backup. This guy, he put Lamar Jackson in fourth place. He had Saquon Barkley Josh Allen first, Barkley second, Joe Burrows third, and then Lamar Jackson in fourth. Everybody else had it 1 and 2. And then as we look back at the voting, someone also accredited account looked back at the voting in 2019. He did not have Lamar Jackson as the MVP, as Lamar won it back in 2019 season, the MVP award, his first time. He did not have Lamar Jackson as an MVP ballot vote back in 2019. So it's obvious Jim Miller has an axe to grind with Lamar Jackson. I guess he got a real serious problem, because there's no way in hell Lamar Jackson should be in fourth place. And then Dan Orlovsky from ESPN Sports, he voted for him and Emmanuel Ocho, also from the Fox network. Emmanuel Ocho. They voted for Lamar Jackson for first team quarterback. And then they flipped their vote. They voted that on a Monday. Then now this is before the season ended, everybody. Before the NFL season, they didn't. So nobody saw the playoffs. They didn't see any of these playoff games and so forth. So this is before the end of the season. They voted on a Monday for All-Pro. Lamar Jackson was the All-Pro quarterback on a Monday. 2 days later, on Wednesday, they voted for the league MVP. And for some reason, Dan Orlovsky and Emmanuel Ocho changed their votes to Josh Allen. That is never, we have never seen nothing. Well, 1987, we saw this happen before. It's very rare that you see the league MVP in the first. How can the first team quarterback be not be the league MVP?
Well, Rad, man,
how could that even be? How can Lamar Jackson?
Rad man, come on. This type of move has been done before. We've seen it happen there in other sports leagues where you have a player who's been playing out of his mind. In my opinion, I have to say, and I love Josh Allen. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I think that's pretty obvious. But when it comes to the MVP, anybody with eyes can see that Lamar has been playing out of his mind. And in my opinion, he has, well, it's not in my opinion, but obviously he has better numbers this season than Josh Allen. I mean, let's take a look at Josh Allen's numbers just for that regular season, which is what the MVP award is supposed to be, a regular season award, the most valuable player. So let's see here. For Josh Allen, regular season, he had for yards, 3,731 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. All righty. Now here, let's take a look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar ended up having this season 4,172 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Not even close. Not even close. I thought this was going to be a clear three-peat. People were talking about three-peat for Kansas City. I said, what about for Lamar? Lamar should have had this there in the bag, but unfortunately, people had a simple opinion of either two things. A, they started to include the postseason. They needed to see Lamar do more. They needed to see him win in the postseason to give him that regular season award. Yeah, it's not fair, but it's what people are going to look at. They don't want to see him make it to the playoffs and then lose. If they would have beat Buffalo, I 100% believe that Lamar Jackson would have been the MVP. And then my second point would say, when it comes to Josh Allen winning the MVP, the only argument that I can have in my mind for him, not looking at statistics, is that, hey, Josh Allen did more with less. We were out there on Radio Row, Radman.
Yes.
And if you ask the common fan out there, which we did, about some of the weapons that Josh Allen had outside of James Cook, people were struggling to pull names. The general public just know, the Buffalo Bills, they have Josh Allen and a really good defense. Who are we throwing to? Who led our offense there in touchdowns? A 1-year signed free agent in the name of Mac Hollins? That's a surprise. We ran the ball, played bend, don't break defense. And that's how Josh Allen was able to help propel his team there to the playoffs. Came up short. But with the lack of offensive firepower compared to Lamar, that's the only reason I could think of someone logically saying, hey, we have to go ahead and go with Josh Allen. Because even after Josh Allen got hurt, they had to go ahead and do an x-ray on him. And you know what they found, Bradman? They found that Josh Allen had that dog in him, man. Josh Allen had that dog in him. And that's part of that reason why I can see why other folks, media, other personalities selected Josh Allen, even though I love him. But statistically,
you got to look back. But keep in mind, this was voted on before the playoffs, Internet Passport. This is before the playoffs took place. So that's why it really glares. It's a glaring more stance of you guys. I had Jim Miller obviously has an axe to grind. He got a serious problem. And with a much more talented quarterback, more talented in his baby finger than Jim Miller ever had in his life. I mean, just a straight up scrub going to vote on a guy like this. And Darren Orlovsky, a backup in the NFL, another scrub quarterback, not voting for Lamar Jackson. Both of those guys were not quality NFL quarterbacks, very mediocre. Dan Orlovsky never even really saw the field. He was just a backup most of his career. Came out of the University of Connecticut, made it to the league, held the clipboard for most of his career, but yet now a star analyst on ESPN. But you can't see that Lamar Jackson, with all the numbers, twice as much as the numbers, then it just doesn't make sense. I mean, how can you?
Because there's always going to be somebody who may see the game differently, or sometimes it's just someone that's just a hater, Radman. Sometimes someone's going to be a hater. Now, I'm not saying that Dan Orlovsky and the other gentlemen are hating on Lamar or any of these other guys. They may end up seeing the game there differently. But sometimes, hey, people's feelings do get involved. One example that I will say the NFL, I'm glad that they released the people that did vote with the names attached. And I wish they would do the same thing to that other sport there when they're inducting people into the Hall of Fame for baseball as well. Because sometimes when I see a player being short there, when it comes to the Major League Baseball, being short of a unanimous induction there to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and it's usually by maybe a handful of votes, maybe one just to two people. And it's just like, how can this one person not see this person who's unanimously going to the highest level, the highest regard when it comes to this sport? How can you be so off base? But obviously in baseball it's nameless. But now when it comes to the NFL, now we know. So people can go ahead and ask those individuals, why? Well, you need to stand on your square and explain yourself. Because when it comes to these types of votes, sometimes we really need to know. Sometimes it's obvious. Other times when it's controversial like this, we need some answers.
Yeah, we do. We do need some answers, and it's always seemed to be some situations going on when you have people. Tom Brady, superstar. We can all agree the GOAT. He earned GOAT status on the playing field. Tom Brady voted for Lamar Jackson. I guess greatness sees greatness. Internet passport.
I agree, especially when it's something that's obvious. And so, hey, he's with the agreements. We can see it happening. It's like, okay, all right. Lamar's the guy. I thought it was in the bag. I thought it was by the last two games of this regular season, Lamar still had it. Josh Allen might have to do something super incredible, in my opinion, for him to overstep it. But obviously, voters saw things a different way. The only argument I could say for Josh Allen is just that, hey, he did less with more. That's all I can really say. I think that for the Buffalo Bills, their two best offensive players are Josh Allen and Deion Dawkins. I'm going to stand those two. And then my third one, who's very close, is James Cook. So that was where we're saying that were the Bills' best talented offensive players. So that kind of shows you, hey, you had James Cook cooking, and then you ended up having Josh Allen doing this thing, and I would have to give most of the credit there, and I thought he should have won for assistant coach, offensive coordinator Joe Brady. He went in there with his full season there in Buffalo and said, hey, Josh Allen, he's naturally a gunslinger. He wants to throw that ball. He believes he can make every throw, even sometimes when he shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, you don't have to do this all on your own. We're going to be a balanced offense. We're going to run the ball, play good defense. If you see that path, if you see that wide receiver open, make that throw, land that throw, and let's move the change. And that's what we saw him do. And it was something that was very impressive that really showed is that, hey, Josh Allen, we know that you can be Superman, and we're going to need those moments for those pivotal games. But other times, hey, let's just get the first down. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be flashy. Let's just go ahead and find a way to win this game. So I think that he is that unsung hero when it comes to the Buffalo Bills staff that really helped propel Josh Allen to that next level, even though statistically, people would have seen things a little bit differently, including myself.
Well, very well stated. And keep in mind, we're broadcasting live from the Advantage Federal Credit Union Studios. The Advantage Federal Credit Union Studios. Check Advantage Federal Credit Union out. They at AdvantageFCU.org. Advantage Federal Credit Union, AdvantageFCU.org for auto loans, Visa cards, student checking accounts, and much, much more. They have a real good student checking account going right now. Check it out. If you're students in high school or students in college, take a look at Advantage Federal Credit Union at AdvantageFCU.org for beautiful auto loans at 4.99% right now. Visa cards, student checking accounts, and much, much more. Our friend of the show, the Advantage Federal Credit Union. Check them out. Hey, and what we're going to do next, we're going to go to a brief sound bite from Jaden Daniels after he won the award at the Gospel Soul Celebration. Daniels received the award at the event the other night. And let's hear then he came up and won the NFL Honors, the Rookie Award. So he won 2 Rookie Awards during the week down here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's hear what Jaden Daniels had to say.
Yeah, what does this award mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, just to be recognized for my faith and everything, that's a huge recognition.
And being a player your rookie year, just to be honored, isn't it quite surprising, but just for 1 year in the league that you're off the being honored for actually you're off the field type?
I mean, it's just a blessing. Like I said, it's really nothing but just going out there and just living my daily life.
Absolutely. And for this season, how do you sum up this season?
It was a blessing. Go out there and really just live out my dreams of everything that we're doing.
Okay, I was at the LSU game against Florida where you had that breakout game, which everybody calls your Heisman Trophy game. Do you think you would be at this place now from less than a year ago from that game, that LSU Florida game, with the 6 TDs and over 300 some yards rushing and passing? Do you think you would be at this?
Yeah, I mean,
so quickly?
I work to get to this level, so I just got to keep going.
What's up for next year? Last question for next year.
Man,
your goals for next season?
I don't even got no goals right now. As the season gets closer, we'll get them goals set.
All right, thank you.
As you see, Jaden Daniels, a man of a few words. He was looked a little bit nervous, but I'm sure he does his talking on the field and in the locker room with his teammates. Internet passport looked like a little nervous there. It was kind of overwhelming at the Soulful Gospel Celebration event. He was just like, wow, man, and his mom was with him, and it was a quite emotional time there. And when they brought him into the tent afterwards, there to the media. Had a chance to be one of the first people to speak with him, so I think he still was kind of overwhelmed by the opportunity, by the event, and the well wishes from there at the Soulful Gospel Celebration, which was an outstanding event, by the way. Internet passport. We were there on the red carpet. What did you think of Jaden Daniels also winning the offensive, the Rookie of the Year award at NFL Honors as well?
I believe that he was well deserving of it. I mean, Jaden Daniels was very close to taking this team there to the big show, to the big dance, to the Super Bowl. Obviously came up a little bit short, but doing that as a rookie is something that was incredible. He had a great season, so thought it was obvious that he was going to win that award there. And for him as a player that puts his faith there first there as well, it was great to see him put that on display there and accept those awards that he obviously it was well deserved for him to get. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do there next year and how teams are going to adjust for him as well. But on the red carpet, besides being one of the best well-dressed players out there, that he was nice, he was kind, he was respectful. He was also a humble as well. And overall, just a great guest and a great interview.
Oh, yes, he was. And give as we were just going through some of the events, your take of the Gospel Soul Celebration and some of the other players and talent that you had to meet on did you have a chance to interview with on Radio Row? I mean, not on Radio Row, at the red carpet event at the Soulful Celebration.
Oh, the Soulful Celebration was a wonderful event. faith, music, sports all coming together. It's a thing I don't think a lot of people understand how well connected that is. To go out for players to play such a, I would say, such a violent sport when it comes to football. For them to put their bodies on the line for that livelihood, you need to be able to be physically but as well mentally strong. That's where the faith comes in. And when it comes to faith, there's always going to be some music behind it. So a wonderful event that they held there in New Orleans. Hope to be back there. Hope to be back there for another event there next year. And I would just have to say a lot of well-dressed folks there as well. We ran into the NFL. Was it the NFL gospel team there as well? Former players that sang together. Former Buffalo Bill, Byron Scott, he was there. Former Baltimore Ravens, Brian McKinney, he was there as well. A lot of former players looking great, sang great, performed well on stage. So this shows that there's a lot of things that players can do, on the field, but a lot of great things that they can do there in the community and their church off the field as well. So overall, a positive event, great energy, great times, great people.
Oh, yes, indeed. Very well stated. And keep in mind, if you have comments about the MVP or the NBA trade, we're going to talk about the NBA trade, some of those big trades, the Luka trade, Luka Doncic, people all upset down here are excited about it. Either way, you can go either way. Let us know what side, your point of view. Give us a call, area code 585-595-1055. That's 585 area code 595-1055. Give us a call, and we'd be glad to hear your comments regarding the NFL MVP awardee, Josh Allen, Buffalo's own Josh Allen. Congratulations to Josh Allen. Glad to see him get him a major award, and I'm sure he's gonna be asking for more money pretty soon too. And now being named the league MVP, Internet Passport. We'll probably see that as well coming up. So keep in mind for that, and also keep in mind for award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. Remember, auto, home, health, life insurance. Check her out. She always friend of the show, very sponsor, one of our original sponsors, award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, auto, home, health, and life insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. A friend of the show, great insurance, help you save you. She saved me and my family a hell of a lot of money. I guarantee you she'll save you and your family a hell of a lot of money. And that's why she keeps winning awards, because she saved a lot of people a lot of money. Auto, home, health, and life insurance. Check her out, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B, 585-360-0094. Give her a call, y'all. Definitely check it out. Yes, indeed, Internet Passport. Some of the other award winners that we saw come out, it seemed that things kind of fell into place. Jaden Daniels was the defensive rookie of the defensive player of the year. Patrick Surtain, the second, he was hands down on that one. Eric Armstead from the Jacksonville Jaguars was the man of the year. A lot of us thought this was the year for Deion Dawkins. We thought Deion Dawkins would get the Man of the Year award. And, all of them did great, but it was a little disappointing not to see Deion Dawkins win that. But congratulations to Eric Armstead. He did a lot of work out there in San Francisco. He was a former San Francisco 49er, did a lot of work out in the Bay Area. A lot of work in the community, and all these guys do a lot of work in their respective communities, and very thankful for the Walter Payton. Excuse me, I apologize, Walter Payton. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. Got to get it right. The NFL Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, because Walter Payton was a great man. If you had a chance to see him play, but also in the community, in the Windy City, and back in his home area of the Jackson, Mississippi area, this man did a lot of work and cared about a lot of people. He cared about his community. That's why it's named the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year. And congratulations to Eric Stat.
And when it comes to that community, that's one thing that we saw there, that community integration while here on the Super Bowl Media Week for this year's Super Bowl. One thing that they know how to do here in New Orleans is keep things hyper local, hyper focused when it comes to the music, and also when it comes to the personalities. While on Media Row, we saw a lot of local talent. We saw a lot of local performers, whether it was Trombone Shorty. It was the tons of them that we saw down here. So the Walter Payton Man of the Year, they sent people into the community here. And then also when it comes to the Super Bowl week there as well, they made sure to involve the community. So I'm glad to see that happening when it comes to the NFL and their events.
Yes, indeed. They really incorporate more than what we've seen in most cities. Every time they come to New Orleans, they tend to incorporate, New Orleans incorporates their entertainment, their music into it. Even way back in '75 with Al Hurt and Pete Fountain, they were all playing and they had performances during the halftime show down there at Tulane Stadium. That was the last time they were outside in New Orleans, that when they played that 1975 game where the Steelers defeated the Minnesota Vikings 16-9. My type of Super Bowl, a defensive battle back there in 1975 at Tulane Stadium, 16-9 victory for the Steel Curtain against the Purple People Eaters. That's what that game was about, and it lived up to all the expectations. A true defensive battle at that year. But New Orleans does have their music incorporated. You mentioned Trombone Shorty. Lettucey is going to do Lift Every Voice. I thought she was from England with her British accent, but she was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. Lettucey's doing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Trombone Shorty and Lauren Hagel are doing America the Beautiful, and then John Baptiste is doing the National Anthem, another all legendary New Orleans, Louisiana artist will be opening the show. And then at halftime, Kendrick Lamar will be performing at halftime of Super Bowl 59. And I'm trying to remember the gentleman. Who was the gentleman that from the Cash Money crew that came on after Master P at the media party on Tuesday, back on Tuesday?
Manny Fresh.
That's who that was. What's his name?
Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh. Man, Manny Fresh turned the crowd up. People got energy. Man, Master P, it was great to see a legend come on and perform. I hadn't seen him perform in many years. And then Manny Fresh came out and did his thing. And man, he rocked the house with that, man, with several. He did a medley of the Cash Money songs from back in the day. So that was good seeing those performances here in New Orleans. Excellent. The food has been great. The people are always great. It just shows you what New Orleans is. It's a party city. And hey, we're having a great time down here, and it's definitely continuing to grow. I see we have 3 to go. Music. Ronald Walker said he think Josh Allen earned the MVP. Oh, he earned it. He earned it, Ron. He said when he thought it was he thought Josh Allen came out tight against KC. Poor play calling, not using the running back more in the fourth quarter. Kept the team from being where we are today in New Orleans, Louisiana.
What? Nothing about the numbers. Nothing about the numbers is how it.
You don't say anything about the numbers in there, but the numbers were Homeboy didn't come. I don't remember Lamar Jackson coming out tight in many games. I think last year it looked a little tight in the playoff game a year ago against the Chiefs. But other than that, his regular season numbers, Josh Allen regular season numbers are night and day. More than double the yards, the TDs, 41 touchdown passes with only 4 interceptions. I mean, that's outstanding work to have 41 TDs. And we know a lot of Josh Allen touchdowns with that tush push within 10 yards. I think 12 of his TDs were within a total accumulation of 12 total yards, because he was at the goal line where he could have just handed the ball off to Cook and let Cook get some of these TDs, and or Ray Davis or the other running back there that they had out there as well. So it's going to be a lot of conversation on it not only throughout when we get back to the Western New York, to hear about Western New York's thoughts on it as well. Feel free to give a call, 585-595-1055. give yourself a call if you still have it, and we're gonna continue on definitely. I think anything else that you were interested in, impressed with this week with the NFL honors, with any of the awards that the players received, Internet Passport.
Well, like I always say, it's just there are a couple of snubs there. How I have to reiterate, the Buffalo Bills this season, being one game away from the Super Bowl, had no All Pros, none, zero, no first team All Pros, I should say. And that's something that still rubs me the wrong way. I thought at least Deion Dawkins would end up having that first team All Pro at that left tackle position, but obviously that didn't happen. So I thought that was a little bit of a robbery. So I'll still be one to say there, and I have to go with 3 to go music. I have to say it's just that, hey, I'm not mad that Josh Allen got the award being a Buffalo Bills fan, but at the same time, when it comes to just the MVP, independent voting, I would have leaned towards more with Lamar Jackson winning that award, but it is what it is. Go Bills fans. We're going to go crazy because no one knows how to circle the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. So happy and excited about that. And I would say one thing there as well is being there on Media Row there, Rad, man. We got to end up meeting and interacting with a lot of different folks there, a lot of people with some great stories. A lot of people with some interesting backgrounds. And now I want to know, out of all those interviews that were conducted, all those different personalities, whether it was the Pat McAfees, whether it was the Stephen A. Smiths, whether it was the Josina Andersons there of the world.
Yeah.
Was there any interviews, any personalities, any folks there that you interviewed or got to meet that stood out to you?
Well, one of our regulars, Rob Parker, always stands out with his commentary. He has a
Rob Parker of the Odd Couple.
Of the Odd Couple, yes. Rob Parker, the Odd Couple on the Fox network there, 1280 a.m. here in Rochester, New York, Monday through Fridays from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. At night. Check out Rob Parker. Man, he was very strong about the Luka trade. He was shocked that they would trade him like that and cost Luka the kind of money. We're gonna have a soundbite probably next week from all the things Rob Parker had to say, and also about the Josh Allen winning the MVP as well. But he really was a very strong commentary about Luka being moved from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers. He definitely was one of my favorite interviews during the week. Also, we also had some very good Bill Bellamy. Bill Bellamy was very and Dash Diaz, Miss D, Roxy Diaz. They were very interested. There was another highlight of the week, having the opportunity to interview them on Real Deal Sports Show. They were very nice people, very and they care about their community as well. Definitely care about their community. Seeing LT, getting a chance to talk to LT briefly, Lawrence Taylor, legendary Hall of Famer from the New York Giants, also was a good opportunity as well. It was definitely a lot of people. One guy that always gets the arrogant note, Greg Cosell, talking with him is always that guy walks. Greg Cosell, the nephew of the legendary announcer Howard Cosell. He kind of looks like him and sounds a little bit like him too. Got that nasal voice. His comments and everything, and his breakdown on the Buffalo Bills, I thought was quite interesting. He said, "Yeah, the Bills definitely got to do something with that back end." He said that back end, those safeties, man, he said that cost them a lot. The Bills got to make some moves with their safety position. And I agree. I've been saying that every week on Real Deal Sports Show. DeMar Hamlin should not have been out there the entire season. They should have made him.
Well, Radman, who else are they going to have back there? Who else is going to be there because of some of those injuries? That's where they just needed to add some talent this offseason. They had the Bills this offseason need to work on their back end, definitely draft and sign a safety, either a strong safety or free safety, whatever they need. But they have to build their team to beat Kansas City. Mm-hmm. That's what they have to do. Find Kansas City weakness and build the team to stop them. That should be the number one goal this offseason. Build the team to beat Kansas City and add more offensive weapons. Those should be the two goals, in the Internet Passport's opinion. But I agree with Cosell that back end does need some work, though. That was ended up being a hole as the season went on. It did end up having some issues there.
And also, he made a statement about the Bills got to get bigger on the defensive front. He said Ed Oliver's good, but he's too small. They need some guys. They need a couple bigger linemen, defensive linemen on that front. But keep in mind, Sean McDermott is the one, and Brandon Bean, as I alluded to Greg Cosell during the interview on Real Deal Sports Show. Check it out. Check all these interviews out on YouTube. We have it on YouTube. You can see almost everybody that we interviewed during the week on Radio Row from Real Deal Sports Show on YouTube. Like us, subscribe, comment, and subscribe to the Real Deal Sports Show. You'll be able to hear some of the comments. But the comment I made to Greg Cosell is, but this is the team Sean McDermott wants. He wants a faster, speedier team, not a big. Because if he wanted a bigger team, he could have kept Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, 249 pounds, got the big wingspan. You should have kept him as your middle linebacker. If you wanted size, he went away from size. He went away from the big guys and playing safety type guys at the linebacker position. And now you got the big running backs coming back again. You know what? I really would be concerned if the Bills were playing the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow, because I would think with that big offensive line of the Eagles, it's similar to me. It would be a similar matchup to the Ravens playing the Bills. A big offensive line against a small defensive line and defensive linebackers and inexperienced safeties. Saquon Barkley might have had a 200-yard rushing day against the Buffalo Bills team defensive front that they had this season. I mean, this game's on a neutral field. I don't know how the Bills defensive front would have been able to hold up. And Terrell Bernard, he's a nice guy. I like him. I like how he plays, but he's just too damn small in the middle linebacker position. He needs to move to either outside or, man, to me, he might, if they retrain him to be a safety, play the safety position, because he's quick enough. He's a ball hawk, but to me, he's just too small to play the position. Greg Cosell disagreed with me and said, "Hey, man, this guy is hard to change guys from their natural position or the position that they've been playing once they make it to their."
He's going to be at the linebacker position, Radman. He's going to be at that linebacker position. I think that's that one role where Buffalo's able to find talented guys in the mid to later rounds. So, and when it comes to those linebackers, they need to be able to cover. I think it's very hard to find one that has the ability to stop the run and cover. Do we need to get bigger up front? We can. I know they like those guys that have that length there, especially when it comes to those ends. But when it comes to those big body guys, I do expect the Bills there to add a player there in free agency. We had guys like Austin Johnson. We're going to end up having those guys possibly with a chance to re-sign. And I think that's how they're going to be able to build that defensive line, because they definitely love to see for the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott's defense, they like to build from the lines on out. But I think when it comes to that back end, that's going to be a focus. Our linebackers just have a little bit of trouble staying healthy. I think that's going to be the main thing for them. So they're going to be able to make it healthy through this long season, and for the Bills to add depth there into that position as well. Baylor Spector, I think it's time for him to roll. Yes, Radman?
Yeah, Baylor Spector, Hamlin. Who else got to go?
Oh, well, and I would say just a change in a little bit of philosophy. I'm going to go back to the person I mentioned earlier when it comes to our offensive coordinator. And we would bring in how he was able just to bring up our offense, make it more balanced. And one thing I have to say when it comes to Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, we drafted last year Keon Coleman in the second round, a big body wide receiver that had trouble separating in college, but was a big body player, high catch, high point the ball, be able to box players out, had a lot of success there in the slot. This season, left a little bit more there on the table, had some injuries to get on through, but he reminded me of old Kelvin Benjamin, where back in the day, that's the one of the big signees that Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane did before, big body wide receiver. But the thing that people forget, we traded back with Kansas City, who they took the fastest player, Xavier Worthy, with the fastest recorded 40 time. They took that fastest player. Well, we had one of the slowest recorded 40 times in Keon Coleman. I think that can't be forgotten. We need some speed and some separation. They had an offensive weapon that helped take him over the top back to another Super Bowl, while we had one of the slowest guys. So now we need to focus on how we could grow, of course, that defensive back end, but still some offensive firepower with some speed. That's what they should be focusing on this offseason.
Firepower with some speed. Do you think Buffalo should get into the Myles Garrett sweepstakes now that he announced he wants to go? He wants out of Cleveland.
It depends. It depends on. It will be great for him to have, but we would have to make a lot of restructuring deals. That's what will have to be done, because whoever signs Myles Garrett will have to get traded, but then also provide him with an extension. I don't think he's going to play there on the current deal that he has. So it had to be a trade and a signing. And for Buffalo, where they are, I think we need more help when it comes to our back end than when it comes to our line. We're able to find guys who may not be able to always get to the quarterback and have those great sack numbers, but always be able to get that quarterback to move around in the pocket, to feel some of that pressure there. Yeah, Fat Ed is a little small for that position, but he knows how to apply that pressure when it comes to the pocket and collapse.
Exactly. I agree with you. You got to do that. We got to make that move, make that type of move. But we're gonna move into our picks for the big game. Super Bowl Sunday coming up. Kansas City Chiefs versus Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get our picks together here. How do you see it, Internet Passport?
I'm going with the fly, Eagles fly. Definitely want to see a spoiler. I think they have they're back at this again. Rematch game. They have the better team there, at least on paper. But Kansas City, if Kansas City is able to get the Eagles to play down to the level, that's where they're going to end up having that advantage. But the Eagles, what they have to do is score fast and score frequently. And the number one thing, ball control and time management. The Eagles need to milk that clock out for as long as possible. From the first quarter all the way until it hits 0 in the fourth quarter, that's what the Eagles are going to have to do, and limit their turnovers. Because if they somehow turn over the ball and Kansas City is able to capitalize, that's going to be the only way how Kansas City would win that game. So the Eagles play mistake-free football and time management. Hold on to that ball as long as possible. And if you can, this is going to be very difficult. Try not to give Kansas City the ball with 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. That's going to be a tall order, but I'm going with fly, Eagles fly. I see the game going there. I'm going to see it going as with the Eagles 31 and the Kansas City 28.
All right. Well, that's very good, because you know what? Another interview that was really nice was Brandon Marshall. I had a chance to speak with him earlier during the week, and he gave a lot of reasons why it's the Eagles' game to lose, because they have the stronger running game. The top two defenses against the run. So let's see how the running game proceeds in this game. I have a feeling Saquon Barkley will be able to break some runs off in this contest. I think it's going to come down to special teams. I like the KC special team a little bit better than the special teams of the Philadelphia Eagles. And remember last time, 2 years ago, it came down to the fumble. Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball in the second quarter, was picked up and ran in for a touchdown. That was the turnover. Ended up really, when that game ended, the turnover was the difference in the game. I think I see Kansas City finding a way to get this three-peat, get the win. Patrick Mahomes is just, man, he's just so hard to beat. This guy, they don't beat themselves. And Andy Reid, he saves plays for late in the game, plays that you haven't seen before. And he runs them at near the end of the game, or when they really need to make a big play. And I think you're going to see Patrick Mahomes running a little bit more downfield, because I think the Philly defense is going to definitely have those guys covered. He's going to run for some critical first downs, move the chains, and then Andy Reid comes in with some of his plays those double up, triple receivers on one side. Watch for them to come across the middle and screen and allow the back end running back receiver to come out and usually be wide open because it's like a pick play. They'll pick the receiver off in order for them to get the yards. And I think you'll see 27-24, Kansas City Chiefs winning by 3, covering that spread of 48 and a half. Right now it's at 48 and a half. It fell from 49 to 48 and a half. Might end up at 48. I see it. I take the over. The Rad Man, he's playing the over in this game. Flat
the
back.
over. Let's go.
Take the over. I'm not messing around because it's Philly's game to lose, really. Philly, they got the defensive line guys out of Georgia, those young guys. They filled up their defensive front, and they have good safeties, Blankenship, Cooper DeJean. I was hoping the Bills would have picked him in that first round or second round. Cooper DeJean, he went to the Eagles. They even got a Quincy. They got another rookie. They had 2 rookies up for rookie player of the year at the NFL Honors and also at the NFL Honors this year. They had 2 rookie guys. They had a really good draft. They really drafted to fill the holes in that they had that were the holes that they needed to be filled from 2 years ago and definitely from last year when they collapsed late in the season. Their back end, they got rid of a lot of guys in that back end and didn't have to worry about big play Slay having to be the man to make some big plays back there in the secondary. So it's going to be close, 27-24. I see Kansas City with this win, pulling this game out. And everybody going to say, it's going to be another one of those games. How the hell, boy, the Eagles look like they had this game under control. But damn, how the hell did the KC walk off the field with the trophy? I think it's going to be another one of those. We got Morris Thompson down in the Beltway, down there in the D.C. area. There you go. He said all they got to do is cover the tight end all the way through his route. Just keep track of Kelsey the whole game. Yeah, it seems to be hard because they'll move Kelsey out to the wide receiver position, Morris. They'll get him out in a wide receiver spot so that he can they free him up a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Morris, there for that comment there. You can always like the video if you're watching the stream. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Are we right? Are we wrong? Or are we just insane? We just want to know what you think there. And if you can there, just hit that share button too there. Share that video on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. It will end up meaning a lot to us if you're able to do that as well. And the Rad Man, with the little bit of time that we have left, the NBA, they tried to speak of. We're getting hit with some of that time. We got BacSpin coming in, some major trades that happened with the NBA. Your thoughts on with Luka going over there to LA?
Big deal. The general manager for the Maverick Harrison said he was sick of him the last 2 years, coming in overweight, out of shape, playing himself into shape, then around December, Christmas time, enjoying the holiday season and going back to being overweight and pulling calf muscles. He has soft tissue injuries every year, and the guy just refuses to get his weight under control. As you saw in the playoff game, we were watching the game, and I remember said, people who don't watch the game that often said, "Who's the out-of-shape white guy on the court?" And I said, "That's the star of the team." Wait a minute, that's the star of the Mavericks. What's going on? He said, "That's the star." The guy just got to get his weight down. He was supposed to play last night for the Lakers. Now he's pushed back to Tuesday as his first game with the Lakers. He just can't stay on the court. That's the bottom line. BacSpin. Welcome BacSpin to the show. Luka just can't stay on the court, BacSpin.
Hey, man, I mean, LeBron James, they say LeBron didn't know what was going on. Do you really believe that?
Hey, we ran into the NFL script writers, man. I can't say, they had a gag order on us, so I can't say everything, but we also ran into some NBA script writers, man, and they say just the puppet master LeBron James. Hey, I didn't know. I was out with dinner. I thought it was a hoax. Really, LeBron?
Right.
Really, LeBron? You out there with your son? Hey.
I don't think nothing goes on with that team without LeBron knowing. I think he probably wanted Luka. AD just got the short end of the stick. And I don't know. We'll see how it all pans out. I mean, Luka is a hell of a player. And, you know, with the Lakers, anything is possible. You got King James on the squad, so you know with him anything is possible. But I'm looking to see how these two play with each other, and if they can gel well together. You know what I mean?
You know, they're gonna find a way to make it work. And like I said, LeBron, he the puppet master. I'm gonna say, hey, he had to make a deal. Hey, I expect LeBron to play until his next son makes it into the league as well. He's gonna play with all his sons,
With all
man.
his sons.
With all his sons. And once that happens, he's gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm out. I had to make some trades and some sacrifices. When you make a deal, you can't get everything you want. They got to compromise at some point. So we're gonna have LeBron around, in my opinion, for a few more years.
No diggity, no doubt, man.
And the Fanatic says De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs was a big move. That's going to boost the Spurs to making the playoffs this season. He think that's going to be a big one. And also the addition of Mark Williams out of Duke to the Lakers, he said that was a big move as well for the Lakers. Almost just as important move of getting Luka. Mark Williams will be able to be a big help to the Lakers as well, courtesy of the Fanatic.
No doubt, man. Y'all enjoy that Super Bowl, man. I wish I was there with you. I know you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time down there in the Big Easy.
Yeah, you would have loved Master P the other night. Oh, man, he came out. Sure. It was like it was the old days, BacSpin. He turned the crowd out.
I know he did, man. I seen him perform. Plus, I had the chance to meet him a couple of times. And good guy. Master P's a great, great guy.
Yeah, he just went into the Walk of Fame. They got a Walk of Fame like they have out in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, okay.
Down on Canal Street. They just started. This is the first year for it, and he went in. Master P was one of the original people to go in on the Walk of Fame as well. And Lil Wayne is on there as well. Lil Wayne, and I think they had about 10 people, 10 or 15 people went in this year on the and then Master P gave a tour afterwards into the black community as well. They really man, down here they've got a lot of things going on here. A lot of culture, a lot of black history, a lot of our Seminole, our Native American history as well is being taught here. It's a lot of really good educational party, good times. They rolled out the red carpet. New Orleans, Louisiana is definitely tourism party town.
No doubt. I loved it there when I went. But y'all, we up against it. So y'all enjoy yourselves and have a shot for me.
We'll do.
Keep it where you need it. It's the Real Deal Sports Show on the B1055 every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Coming up, it's the Back in Time Mix Show. It's all on the way right here on the Big